every pregnant person, couple, whatever, birth partners should have this course. Hello and welcome back. So today I thought I'd film in the nursery. It's not finished, but I thought I'd film and just talk to you a little bit about the hypnobirthing course I've been doing. I think the word hypnobirthing is really, really unfortunate. It kind of gives you that like la-di-da, you know, just breathe through the pain sort of thing, which is kind of right, but it's not at all. And it got to Black Friday and they had a half price offer on the Positive Birth Company's online course. So it was 20 quid. And I thought, you know what, 20 quid, I'll give it a go. It's only £39 full price anyway, so it's a lot more affordable than a private hypnobirthing course, which you're looking at about £250 for a 2-day course. Round up, I love this course so much, and so does Tom. He listens to it with me. It's a series of videos, so we just put it on at night when Oren's gone to bed, and we just kind of watch it, but it is just her talking, so you don't need to physically watch it. You can just listen to it and absorb it. It goes through so much more than just like labour. It goes through things that even though I've had a baby that I didn't realise, so a lot more into the hormones and why the body does what it's doing at the end of pregnancy, how labour happens, the effects of the drugs and why people give, like some of the hospitals will give you certain medications. It talks through elective C-sections, so planned C-sections, emergency C-sections, inductions, forceps, sweeps. It goes into everything. And what I'd say, it does it in a way that will not scare anybody. So it's not overwhelming. I think you could look at a list of all it does and it could be like, ah, but it's all individual but videos. And I think the longest video I've watched has been about 13 minutes. So it's like 2 minutes on this and then 3 minutes on this. So you could literally listen to 2 minutes and then the next day, 3 minutes, and then you can revisit things. I was really nervous about watching it because I am so anxious about my birth. I did have a very traumatic birth with Oren. I still struggle with it now, 2.5 years later. Because they're saying that my baby's big, they're already using the word induction, and they do that with IVF pregnancies where I am as well. So they won't let you go over your due date. They'll induce you or sweeps or whatever they're going to do. But which I didn't realise in my first birth, is you can say no. Basically they scanned me and they decided he'd stop growing. But this scan was literally a 30-second scan. And if they would have just redone that scan, took a little bit more time, I thoroughly believe none of it would have happened. Because he miraculously came out like 2.5 pounds heavier than they thought in literally 4 days. So yeah, my induction was lengthy. It took 4 days. I was 1 centimetre for 4 days. I had sweeps every single day, so many examinations, internal examinations. And I remember the last sweep, I yelped and the consultant went, well, if this hurts you, then you're not going to get through labour. And it made me feel that I was weak and pathetic, but I'd been swept and anyway, then I did go into an active labour. I went from 2 centimetres to 7 centimetres in like 8 minutes, and then I was in the active fully dilation for 4 hours, forceps, and basically he bent his head back, his heart rate was dropping, and then I was sent for emergency C-section. The course really helped this a lot and explained to me better than my hospital review what had happened and what had gone wrong and my options now. I had my 12-week scan and I was sent to a consultant. He was just like, I think a VBAC's fine, we can't guarantee that this one won't bend his head either, we can't guarantee that, but the success rate is 70%. That still scares me a little bit. 70%, there's 30% chance that I'll try VBAC and end up with a C-section. But the difference is, and this is what's made me feel empowered from this course, is that I will not have an induction again. Don't come at me. If you've got a reason for it, you do it, that's fine, that's your decision, but don't come at me because I'm not going to have one. One thing that really rang to me in this course was due dates, and I thought, well, my due dates are accurate, they're IVF. But it doesn't make sense for your body to suddenly be like, that's 39 weeks, bing, baby's cooked, out it comes. It doesn't work that way. You've got like a 5-week window from 37 weeks to 42 weeks that you might have your baby, and your baby will know when it's ready to come out. So why is it that I'd get to 40 plus 1 and suddenly this baby has to come out of me now? I might review things at like 41 weeks, especially with its size. He is big, and especially with VBACs, they're less successful if you've got a big baby. If there is nothing, no alarm bells, I'm being left alone, and that includes sweeps actually. The video on sweeps was very, very enlightening. Again, we've had a kid and there's so much we didn't know, and then we watched a video last night on the golden hour, the hour after the baby's born, and we didn't know any of it. We didn't really get that because Oren was born in shock and taken away, and I was completely off my face from
gassing her for 4 hours, exhaustion, epidural, all of it.
I mean, I was numb from the neck down when Tom tried to hand him to me. I didn't realise I couldn't actually move my body. So I was just like putting this side through, just talking. But I know that Oren was somewhere in the room, but I couldn't tell you where. It was a very weird thing. So we did experience this golden hour and how important it is with hormones and bonding and things like that. And I did bond with Oren, and I don't want to say too much because I get a lot of people just
assume that I don't naturally bond with him because he's biologically not mine.
It was the delivery and the recovery and the feeling of failure really put a barrier. I just felt really deflated. The biggest fear when I was pregnant with Oren was tearing. I was petrified, and I was having nightmares about it. I was worrying about it, especially because I was saying Oren was going to be big, and I was absolutely petrified, and then I didn't ever get to that. Almost, Oren was literally an inch away from getting out from his by himself with me. We almost got there, and because they said that the C-section they actually had to pull him back out. But the chapter on pairing is also really, really reassuring. So none of it scared me. It's really like chilled me out and educated me about all scenarios, all your options, without pushing you in any direction. I'd say it kind of leans more towards anti-intervention. So sweeps, inductions, things like that, and less as a valid reason. They're very, very hot on that. I've ordered the book to go with it, which should be coming today. I loved it that much. And there's an app that can help you through contractions and everything as well, which I'm going to get. And you get some MP3s. So there's guided relaxation, there's breathing techniques, and I've been practicing the breathing techniques, ironically, in my fitness sessions. So there's a breathing technique to just kind of get you through the contractions, and I do long wall squats, and I've been using this Hypnobirthing Breathing to get me through these squats, and I increased my time by a minute. So it works, and my thought pattern is you need to train and you need to practice these techniques. When I was in Oren's labour, I was aware of one hypnobirthing technique, and I went into sheer panic at the beginning of the labour because it was so intense. It went from nothing to just intense, and I calmed myself down with this breathing. So I've always had this slight kind of, oh, you know what, it must kind of work, which is breathing square. So as you inhaled, you pictured one side of the square, exhale, inhale, exhale, and I visualised that, and then I was somehow timing it with the sound of the gas and air. But it really, really calmed me down. I went from screaming to not making a sound. It's got some techniques. It's not all hypnobirthing. It's not all la-di-da. It's not all like, you know, it is a really unfortunate word that it's called hypnobirthing, because I think the word hypno, like hypnotising, I think it really puts people off, but I think it should be rolled out to everyone. It's so good, and we've finished it now, and we're going to watch it again, hopefully watch it twice more, and just play it in the evenings. And the guided relaxations and meditations can be used just because, not just if you're expecting at all. And there's some music you can use, but it talks about making the environment really positive, which I completely agree with. So I was actually in one of the nicest suites, the water birthing suite, when I had Oren, but I wasn't allowed in the pool because of the induction and things that happened. But they had mood lighting. But my room at one point was full with about 9 or 10 midwives, doctors, consultants, trying to figure out what on earth was going wrong. I always just feel like, not ashamed or embarrassed, but just you know, it's not a good memory, so I kind of get that. And the induction was on a shared ward just with a curtain for mums and their partners and families. When my labour started, the woman in the curtain next to me had a mum, dad, sister, someone else there, and I was actually said in the end, can you go, because I was like really embarrassed that I was having contraction noises, we'll put it that way. So it's not very nice. Oh, it's giving me a good old kick now. But yeah, I just wanted to do a little video about hypnobirthing and my birth plan. So basically, for me, unless anything else is said in the next couple of weeks, I've seen the consultant and the midwife quite regularly now, that I'm going to be left alone up until about 41 weeks, and I might review it, especially if I'm getting bigger, but I'm aiming for that VBAC, and I feel quite empowered about it, and I really want it. Feel him being born and not just be aware that he's born, because when I was born my head just went, you've missed it, you failed. I ideally want a water birth, and I ideally want to be able to catch the baby. That is like my dream, but I'm not getting a heart set on it because things go wrong, as I know, but that is my aim. And I've had a C-section and I've recovered, so if it goes that way as well, I'll be okay. But I think the induction and the exhaustion and everything else was just too much last time, that I know that I can handle trying and a C-section and being okay with it and giving it a good go. So that is my plan. Hopefully it goes well, and I just want to share that there are loads of online hypnobirthing courses. There's some free stuff on the Positive Birth Company's YouTube as well. Sorry, I'm always getting from baby. So just have a little look, a little dive into it. There's quite a few offers going on as well because of lockdown, but really, I think if you're frightened about any part of it, do it, because I think being educated about it and understanding it is better. And I know your midwife says if you've got any questions, but if you've never thought of these questions, then how are you going to have these questions answered? So that's where I stand on it, and yeah, fingers crossed I have a positive after traumatic birth story. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.